Hey everyone, Miss Jack here, and today we're going to learn about moon phases. So get out your notebook or a sheet of paper so you can follow along and take some notes with me. The title of our page is going to be Moon Phases. Alright, so one trick that we're going to learn is O, backward C, I, forward C. Can you all see that? Alright, so first we're going to start off at the very bottom. You're going to draw the sun. That should be in yellow, huh? Alright, so the bottom is our sun. And then I like to draw tic-tac-toe. The tic-tac-toe method, just to line everything up. So here I have my tic-tac-toe. In the middle is going to be our Earth. Alright, so now we're going to draw circles in all of the other boxes. Okay, so all of these circles are going to be our moon. Now, do we have this many moons? Of course not, but this is going to model all of the major phases of the moon as it goes around the Earth. What do we call that again when something goes around something else or orbits it? Revolution, exactly. So it's going to be revolving around the Earth. Okay, so now we always start with the moon closest to the sun. This is our new moon. And our new, I'm going to write it over here. New is near the sun, just to help us remember. New is near. So new moon. And we're going to start here with our O, backward C, I, forward C. So here's our O. Then we're going to write a backward C, I, forward C. O, backward C, I, forward C. Okay, so now what we're going to do is our new moon, we're going to shade all of it. This is new, and this is going to be our full moon. If our new moon is near the sun, our full moon is going to be far from the sun. Exactly. Okay, so now all you're going to do, if you can remember this, is shade all of the sides facing the Earth for the others on the side. So we're going to shade this facing the Earth. This side is facing the Earth, shade it in. All right, and now we got our moon phases. But now we want to make sure we know how to name all of the moon phases. So right here we start with our new moon, and just like the Earth, the moon revolves counterclockwise. So we're going to be going in this same direction. Okay, so our new moon. Notice, look at our light. We have a little bit of light. The light is going to be the part that I didn't shade. It's a little hard because I have a black background, but if I put a piece of paper, you can kind of see now the side I didn't shade is the lit part. Okay, so now we have a little light, half light, a lot of light, full light. So this side is getting bigger and bigger. We call this side waxing. And that just means that it's growing. It also is on the right. The light is on the right side. Okay, so now we got a full moon, then we start shrinking or going smaller with our light to the new moon, which is basically no light. So now this side is called waning. Can you say that with me? Waning. So growing, and this side is going to be shrinking. And what side is the light on? Left. Okay, so we have our waxing and our waning, but now what is each specific moon called? Well, this one we're going to start with waxing. Now the little bitty moon, you know what those are called? It's a little slither or slice. It is a crescent moon, waxing crescent. So up here, it's going to be also waxing. But if you have big backwards, B-I-G, then it's going to be a gibbous. Now this one is a little bit tricky, but if you look at our four main phases, 4 parts of a dollar, one part is going to be called a quarter. So this is a first quarter. So over here, we're actually going to have third or last quarter. Okay, now same thing over here. If this is a waxing gibbous, then this is going to be a waning gibbous. And this is a waxing crescent, so over here is going to be a waning crescent. All right, and now you know the names of all the major moon phases. Okay, so now let's talk about time. Now, how often do you see a full moon usually? So you usually see it about once a month. So sometimes you may have heard of once in a blue moon. Well, blue moon just means that we've had 2 full moons in 1 month. So our new moon, each phase we'll say is about 3.5 days. So we're going to do this on every phase. Here to here. How long is this going to take? 3.5 days. Here to here. Okay, so now we know 3.5 days, and on and on and on. But if we look a little bit closer and we see, let's say a new moon to a, if we look a little bit closer and we see a new moon to a first quarter, how many days would that be? So we have 3.5 and 3.5. So combined, that would take 7 days. Or we could say 1 week. I'm going to abbreviate 1 week. Okay. So yes, every 2 phases would take 1 week. So same thing, from here all the way to a full moon would take how long? Exactly 7 days. Or 1 week. Here to here, 7 days or 1 week. Here to here, how long? 7 days or 1 week. Okay, so now we know the time about of every moon phase, right? So how long to get from a new moon all the way back to a new moon? Let's count. Here to here, we have 7 days. Here to here, another 7. So how much is that? 14. Here to here, another 7. 14 plus 7, 21. And then our last 7 days. So how many total? So it takes 28 days for a full moon revolution, which means the moon going through every phase around the earth. Okay, so now let's try a different timeline. If we go from let's start with now a first quarter. What would you see 1 week after a first quarter? Exactly, you would see a full moon because you follow your 7 days or 3.5. That would be a full moon 1 week later. Now let's start at a new moon. What would you see 4 days after a new moon? That's not on here. Okay, so we have 3.5, and so now we're traveling to the next phase. But are we at the next phase yet? No, we're still transitioning, so we're still at this phase. So 4 days, we would still be in a waxing crescent. Now let's do another one. Let's say 10 days after a last quarter. 10 days. Where are we going to go? We know this is 7. Are we here just yet? Not quite. So you would still be in a new moon, almost to a waxing crescent. But it would still be a new moon. All right. Well, hopefully that all makes sense to you, and you know when you draw the sun at the bottom, you draw your tic-tac-toe and O backward C, I forward C, and that should help you draw the moon phases. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.